Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Today, we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a palm-colored man who actually came out to call his people out, telling them that they are raped to the seas. That majority of them are, and he said that most of them had to hear it because they have refused to acknowledge their privilege, because it is true. When you speak to a palm-colored person and you hear them telling you that they do not have privilege, but they are never scared of being pulled over by the cops because they don't know if they are going to survive it or not, right? Like I keep saying, some of them are the real people that perpetrate like this racism, because why? They really love to see inequality and the rest of it. And most of them are enjoying it, because if they are not enjoying it, it's something that they can also come out and say that we are putting an end to this, and you see them work towards putting an end to it. But no, they are always very keen to tell you, or very quick to tell you, that they do not have any privilege. But when you ask them, are you going to give up your skin color? And you see how their reaction is going to be. You know what? That your skin color is also a privilege. Let's get into this video.
Most white people are racist. The thing that white people hate to hear, and the thing that white people refuse to acknowledge and fix. When I say most white people are racist, what I mean is the majority of white people are racist. And I know this to be true. And if you're an honest person, you know it to be true. Yes, most white people are racist. And it's very simple as to why. Some white people are the perpetrators of racism. Some white people enjoy discriminating against black people and brown people. They enjoy seeing inequality being distributed. They enjoy their white privilege, and they work to protect it. They enjoy using the N-word. They are Trump supporters. They support politicians and lawmakers that promote racism. These are the perpetrators. These are the covert and overt racists, people that actually spew racism in all kinds of different ways, whether discrimination through words, through behavior, so many different ways. And then you have all the other white Americans that support it. And they support it how? By ignoring it. A massive millions and millions and millions of white people right now in America are actively ignoring white supremacy. And it's an art. It's a culture. It's what we do. We're masters as a white people at pretending white supremacy is not real, at pretending inequality is not real, at pretending all the statistics, all the racial data, all the racial disparities in every single American institution is not real. We are masters at ignoring it. And then the other thing that we do to support white supremacy is we deny it. Yes, the majority of white people deny white privilege, deny white supremacy, deny racial injustice. They thrive on denying it. It's part of their livelihood. So when I say white people are racist, it's because if we're not perpetrating it, we're supporting it. And until that changes, most white people are racist. You know, there's one great distinction between black folks and white folks. Black people have the moral high ground. They do. Black people have when you do a comparison morally between white people and black people, you have to take away one thing: supremacy. Black people do not have a culture of black supremacy. However, white people do. So white people are narcissists, social, cultural, systemic narcissists is who we are, because of our racism, because of the lies of white supremacy. But how can white people have morality as long as we have bought into the lies of white supremacy? We can't. And how does that feel to know that black people have a moral high ground. How does that feel to know as a white person that you are sick, twisted, narcissistic, and immoral, highly immoral, and inhumane? I don't use the N-word. What are you doing to fight and dismantle racism that benefits you, white person? Nothing. I ignore it, I deny it, or you perpetrate it. Those are the three things we do. We ignore it, we deny it, or we perpetrate it. That's what most white people do. I hate to say it, but it's true. And that's why I say we're social narcissists, and we have no moral high ground racially. We are sick, hurting people. Hurt people, hurt people. And we've been hurting a long damn time. We're hurting because of the disease of white supremacy. It's destroying white people from within. Look at the white nationalist party, the GOP. Not just them, all white people. But just as an example, look at the GOP. They're batshit fucking crazy. They bought into so many lies, and it all started with the great lie. The great lie of white supremacy. It all started with that. Everybody knows the GOP now officially is the white nationalist party. That's a fact. Matter of fact, you can look at a lot of the rhetoric that they spew, and it's almost identical to what the KKK is spewing and has been spewing for many, many, many years. It's the exact same rhetoric. It really is. Once again, I'm asking white people to understand, you don't do this just for black people as an anti-racist. You don't do it. I do it because I care about humanity, and I can't stand. I was bullied for many years. I can't stand to see people bullied. That's one reason I do this. It's true. But I'm not here to fucking save anybody except for white folks. Black people can take care of themselves. Yes, white supremacy creates victims. But don't think the only victims are black and brown and indigenous people. We are also victims as the people who are living this grand lie and this grand immorality of social, cultural, and systemic narcissism. White people, you're hurting. Until you heal from racism, you're doomed to live an immoral and toxic life. I've seen it in my own fucking family. Don't tell me it's not true. I've seen it in my own goddamn eyes. Living under the lies of white supremacy makes you sick. Nobody's good enough. You're not good enough. You're living lies. And it's people like Donald Trump, the grandest narcissist of them all. That's why white people love Trump. And don't think it's only the GOP. It's also in liberals. Many white liberals are just as racist as GOPs, just in a different way. If you're not doing anything to dismantle white supremacy as a white person, again, you are the problem. And you're only hurting yourself by ignoring it. Believe that. If you're white and you see this video, and by white I mean Caucasian, you know what I mean. If you're white and you see this video, I have a challenge for you. Go to your white buddies, your white boyfriends and girlfriends. Go to them and ask them about race. Ask them to simply acknowledge the truth about our problems with race in America. Ask them if they can acknowledge that white supremacy is real. Culturally and systemically today in America, can they acknowledge that without a deflection, without a projection, without gaslighting, without a big fat butt or ass in it? Can they just acknowledge it? And then ask them, if they can acknowledge it without a butt in it, what are they doing to address it? And I guarantee you, 90% of those people will not even be able to acknowledge it, let alone admit that they're doing anything to address the problem. Let's see the results, white folks. If you see this video, write in the comments and tell me how your white buddies reacted when you asked that question about race. Can they acknowledge it without a butt in it, without a deflection, without a denial, without a gaslight, without any of the bullshit? Just acknowledge it. That's it. And ask them what they're doing to address it. Sadly and incredibly, today, they can't do it. Let's see what happens.
So this is all I got from this, and it really takes a truthful person to come out to speak on this, because a lot of palm-colored people are very scared of speaking about it or talking about it or talking on it. But it's just that they do not want to speak the truth, because majority of them come out to ask what is the privilege, that they do not have privilege. Some come to tell you that they are also poor, I remember arguing with one of my friends, and he was like, "You come from an okay, you are a black person, like you are African, right?" I said, "Yes, of course I am." He was like, "You are not poor. I mean, that you are okay, so you can also be red to the cis." I look. Sorry for the laughter. I looked at him and I was like, "Do you really know the meaning of red to the cyst?" And he was like, "Yes." I said, "I am not sure you do know, but do you know you have privilege?" And straight up, he denied that he was born poor, that doesn't have any privilege, that everything he has, or like, that he worked for it. And I looked at him and I just shook my head. So they are finding it very hard to accept the fact that they have privilege, that just being palm colored already is a privilege, and it's something that they refuse to acknowledge. But when I ask them, would you give up your skin color, for like, forever? And that is the end of discussion. Like, you don't see them talk about it. They just went dead. They wouldn't want to talk about it. So they have so many privilege. And number one is that they have never been scared of being pulled over. And like, I mean, they don't grow up fast. Like black people really grow up so fast. And not until, the truth is that if racism, I know it might actually not be like, wiped up completely, but if racism can be reduced like to the barest minimum, palm-colored women have really a lot of work to do, because I see all of them doing some terrible things, and they are doing it not because they know it is not going to favor them, right? But they would not want black people to benefit from some certain things. So for that reason, they look for a way to like even vote against their own interests. If only you understand. I don't think explaining all this is even like, because you all already know most of this, right? So they go against their own will to vote against their own interest, and then come back later to say if we had like, listened to black people, why they told them. But they always come back in the air to like, play around, like, sorry, we did not listen to you people and all that. So it takes really a very truthful person to like, understand that majority of them are right to the cis, and like, that they uphold that power a whole lot, and then use it against like, exercise their power on people that look like me, right? And then you see a lot of them going ahead. They know the repercussions of like, they know how racist Trump is, but majority of them are also voting for him and telling you that he is a good man, and the rest of it. Like I said before, palm-colored women really have a lot to do when it comes to racism. You see a lot of them, like, trying, like, when you tell them to advocate, like, about anti-racism and all that, you see them, like, from smiling to like, knowing that they know that black people are going through all this, but they do not have that courage to tell their neighbor, to tell their brother, because they know all of them are the same thing. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So even the person that also wants to advocate or do anti-blackness, whatever, this thing is also racist. So how do you, okay, like, how do you want to tell me also, probably two of us are like on the same boat, and you are coming to tell me that we anti-red and or anti-blackness and all that. It's not going to work. So not until all of them decide to come together, or maybe not all of them, because it's just like, it's really something that it's very hard. But if majority of them wake up and say that we want to put an end to some certain things, trust me, they definitely will put an end to it. But you see all this denying that they do not have any privilege and all that. They know it is a lie, but they just choose to keep lying to themselves, not even to me, because we all know everything. All right, so that's all I got to say. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. I see you all in my next video. Bye for now.